I played 9 hours of the Tales of Arise demo. 9 freaking hours of Tales of Arise, 6 times all on hard.
Right now, I'm feeling like Rod Wave, bro.
So I never talk about Tales of on my channel, but I'm secretly in love with the series. To be honest, I grew up playing a lot of Naruto Storm, but I have to pick the current big 3 of Bandai Namco video games. It would be Tekken, Dark Souls, and the Tales of series, and then there's also Dragon Ball, but that's up to quality issue and how you feel about each game. If you want to know my favorite Tales of game, it is Tales of the Abyss and Tales of Vesperia. But regardless, I'm here to give you my thoughts on Tales of Arise's demo. So hit that like button, let's get strapped in, and LGI, let's get it, let's go.
Alright, who's next?
Let's see who's stronger.
Tales of Arise is a game that I'm going to be honest, I was kind of scared for, because even though this looks better with this new direction and graphical fidelity, and I thought from what I've seen from the graphical changes and the little bits that I've seen from the few gameplay trailers was going to be kind of mid, but man, this is so good in so many areas. Legit, I think Tales of Arise is almost perfect, and I'm here to tell you this might be one of the best games of 2021 so far. However, there are some issues I personally have distaste for with it, so let's get into it. Is it fun? Tales of Arise feels like Tales of to the highest T and a lot of departments. The normal enemies stagger and they do stagger, and you give crazy combos off. The boost attacks in Tales of Arise make the combat flow soothingly more exhilarating in battle. Boost attacks is when you can summon allies in combat to use their unique attacks. It just overall keeps the pace of the battle nice for me. It's something similar to how I feel about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and how battles go in the game, which is a really good thing I'm saying right now. Also, we gotta talk about how gorgeous and beautiful Tales of Arise is, and how this is a complete evolution of the series in a lot of areas. I'm also in the weird minority that the Tales of series had its unique charm. It's like how I personally prefer sprites or hand-drawn animation in 2D fighting games compared to the Arc System Works 2.5D style of things now, but bruh, this just downright fire. It's so beautiful, dog. This is potentially one of the best looking video games I've ever seen, and already on track to being one of the prettiest on PS5, Xbox Series X's, and Steam platform for JRPGs. If you're a Tales of fan, you know the power of the interactions are with the characters via exploration in the world. I praised this in Scarlet Nexus since it was a new IP and it was really interesting how they did it there, but in Tales of, to me, it's just a complete evolution of it. The characters have voice acting, they also move with the comic book panels instead of just head portraits. It's just so really cool. It adds more to the characters that you're playing in the game. Also, this game gets a huge plus because it has cooking. I love cooking, and I think if fishing were added, it would just be hilarious. So y'all remember how I said Tales of Arise is almost perfect though? Well, here we go to the things I kind of have gripes more than dislikes, because I don't think it will stop me from buying the game on launch, but there are some criticisms I'd like to get into with the game. My huge criticism with Tales of Arise gameplay is the bosses. In previous Tales of games, you used to play Marvel vs. Capcom with the big bosses, and that's when you could go for big damage. The problem with Tales of Arise gameplay is that the bosses do technically have stagger, but they only stagger for a short period of time. I think the more accurate way of saying this is that the bosses do not really stagger on core break though, and they just automatically get knocked down. It kind of just feel like damage sponges, you get what I'm saying? Even then, to me, it kind of doesn't feel too rewarding to stagger or break big enemies in Tales of Arise, or at least the bosses, because it just happens for such a short notice. Again, I don't want it to be easy free, I just want to feel more reward like in the older Tales of games in the past. Fighting bosses to me, especially from the demo already, the 2-3 of them that are present, it kind of feels very repetitive compared to games before Vesperia, kind of. Like honestly, unless there's some reward for playing on a higher difficulty, which I beat this demo 6 times on hard already, I just feel like there's no need to, at least for now. That's just how I feel. Again, this is how I feel after playing the demo for half of a day. However, I know this is a demo, but then again, you know this is an anime game, which generally with the demos, the game becomes out a month away, and nothing is really going to change too much. Another thing, the game lacks any sort of guard mechanic. You only have a dodge roll, one that gives you a flashy slowdown which is called counter edge, and lets you cancel into attack on a successful dodge. There's no thoughtful decision really in how you defend anymore in Tales of Arise. Just press the dodge button and pray for the best pretty much. However, I will say that's not all the way true. See, in the demo, many bosses have rush attacks that literally melt your health away. I beat it 6 times so hard. I keep saying this because somebody will be like, well, you was playing on easy. And the game wants you to use Kasara boost attack to just get the stun on the opponent or enemies to cancel out their rush. The problem is if you're pretty much full screen, you have to switch characters on the fly or one full screen just to get to the big boss or the enemy. This might be much less of an issue when you learn how to make your party move the way you want to, but we will all have to see. Other than those minor complaints, I mean small ones, I think the game is outstandingly fun. I think the game has similar complaints to Tales of Berseria combat system, and a lot of people are like, it's such a shame that they didn't listen to it. However, this is the first evolution of Tales that they're trying to build towards too, so I'll give it time. I think the next game will probably be even better, but right now, this game is really fire, and the charm of some of the battle system is still there, but in my opinion, it's not as good as games in the past. If I have to review this demo, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. This game is going to bring so many people into the Tales of franchise this September. It's going to be nuts, and I can't wait to have you all onto the Tales of Arise train. When I first saw this gameplay, I was like, oh, it's flashy, but the game's not going to be good. You know how we feel about games like that on the channel. They look good, but they don't play too good. You get what I'm saying? So my expectations for this was very low, but I played this demo 6 times. Apparently I like it, so therefore I'm gonna buy it, and you should probably check it out too. This not gonna also hurt the game or hinder its performance, but it's kind of a little thing that I had when I played through the demo, and I was getting annoyed with myself with it, was that how menuing works. Like, the map is on square button, but everything else is on the touchpad, and I'm like, I think you should kind of switch that. If anything, I would like if you can do that. I don't think you can for now. However, it was just weird that map is a button and then touchpad, everything else is there. I feel like it'd be better just having that on that button and everything else being somewhere else. I don't know. That's just my only little thing else with this thing. That's all I gotta say about that, man. Oh yes, another thing about the Tales of games, while we're here, you have so much control over your teammates. You can tell them not to do this, you can tell them to focus on healing, etc. Oh my god, it is so good. It's still Tales of, and that's all that matters to me right now. The demo is available on all platforms besides Nintendo Switch and PC obviously for now, but go try out the demo yourself. You might find something you like more than what I said in this video, but Tales of Arise is on the track to being one of the most amazing RPGs of this generation, or at least the Tales of series, coming from nichdom to evolution. And it's your boy Avataryaya. Follow me on Twitter, avataryayaTV_. And remember, you guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.
I've been the devil, I need me an arc in the heart of my breathing, I feel like Tanjiro. Walking this bitch with a sound pop, so I'll let you rock it, I keep me a domino. Bitch, on my dick, man, I feel like Kazaki. Stretching that pussy out like it's Pilates. I'm snatching the soul like right out of a body. Fire, I'm spitting, I'm feeling like Dobby. White bitch, blonde hair, looking like Lucy. She from Kyoshi, I paint her face Suki.